Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. Awesome news continues, my friends. This blue plum of Ukrainian counterattack increasing in size, and let's just zoom into it. So we were able to get Balaklia just yesterday, and let's look at this front line. It's far away from the previous border. I would say it's one of the fastest advancement during this war, including Russian side at the beginning that they took the vast part of Ukraine. 3 days have passed since the advancement of Ukrainian forces in Kharkiv area, and let's measure the distance. We are now very close to Kupiansk, by the way, and from the previous frontline border we have moved for almost 60 kilometers. Honestly, my friends, I'm in shock. I wasn't expecting the Second World War scenario for the attacks during this war, because the front line was more or less stable, and now we have massive advancement, and also I'm shocked about the poor Russian defense in this region. The blue area is confirmed free territory from Russian occupiers, and here the gray area means the fighting is ongoing. There could be some of the Russian soldiers. And the Kupiansk, my friends, it's the biggest city in this area after Isum. I would say those cities are quite the same size. And I will tell you why this city is so important after announcing the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of today's video is Atlas VPN. Why do I think it's the best VPN on the market? First of all, it has the best price and product quality ratio. I signed up for the 3 years offer and I paid just $1.99 per month, and for that I got the best military encryption standard protocol available for VPNs. And because of the multiple devices support from a single account, I'm sure that my laptop, my iPad and my smartphone are well protected. And just recently then I was sitting in a local cafe using the public Wi-Fi. I got the warning from Atlas VPN that someone tries to reach my YouTube channel and Google account. That is why I changed the password and immediately disconnected from that network. That security monitoring is not available for many VPNs, and luckily Atlas VPN got it. You may hear that English is not my native language, so I constantly studied. How I study? I just basically watch the Netflix series, and some of them are not available in my country. That is why I switch on the Atlas VPN to watch my favorite series. With Atlas VPN, you simply don't have any limits or any kind of restrictions. Atlas VPN may help you to avoid the price discrimination, so by changing your virtual location, you may purchase, for example, airline tickets with a great discount. Atlas VPN is blocking unknown ads, it restricts the government access to your accounts, and also you are unreachable for hackers. Awesome. Right now Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means that you can get a 3 years offer for just $1.99 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This offer is time limited, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description just below and join the club. Atlas VPN helps a lot to my channel and also to Ukrainian people, so Atlas VPN, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. So let's speak about this city, my friends. Kupiansk. It's very important since it's the end of this water storage that goes all across the front line, and if we take this city, we also take this major crossroad, and we also cut the Russian supplies to this territory. Occupiers put their puppet government in that city just to control the occupied territories of Kharkiv area, and now they evacuate all of their managers and governors to Vovchansk, which is very near to Russian border, easy for them to evacuate. But let's go to our territory, my friends, to Kupiansk itself. So we already cut the Russian supplies from this road, and the main thing for us is also to cut the railroad supply. They have the line coming from this place and coming from that place, so it's the hub, railroad and road hub for Russians. And let's zoom out for the larger perspective. So Kupiansk will be cut, I'm sure about it. All the railroad supplies will be cut. Also, those roads were cut already by Ukrainian forces. So the only possible way for Russia to supply their main military hub in Isum is through this vulnerable bridge and secondary roads that go across this territory. Also, they may use those roads on the south, but those are very close to the front lines, and obviously Russian convoys would be destroyed with the help of Ukrainian artillery. So basically, I see that Russian group here is going to be cut. So we're going to destroy this bridge across the water storage. We're going to take Kupiansk. We already cut the roads here. We took Balaklia. By the way, in Balaklia, there is one of the biggest ammunition warehouse in Ukrainian territory. And obviously, Russia used that one for their own supplies. And we took it back. We'll have more ammunition for our army. So the strategy is quite simple for Ukrainian army, and it's very successful. The only thing that concerns me, my friends, is we need to put defense lines. So we took the territory, but Russia may send reinforcements for the area, and that is why it's very important to put the defense line in Kupiansk. Then we'll take this city under our control and also move the artillery systems closer to the front lines to have the backup. If we do like that, Russians would struggle to put us away from this territory. For them, it would be impossible. But with no defense lines, no artillery help, Russia may take this territory, because from the information I have, they're sending more forces to this area from the eastern side of Ukraine. Also, Russian president calls for emergency meeting in Moscow. We're gonna see the outcome of that event, I think, very soon. But what can they do here? They already have used all of the available resources that they had, and the only possible two outcomes for Russia to try to win this war: first, using nuclear weapons; second, announcement of massive mobilization in Russia and take like 2 million or 3 million soldiers for this war. In that case, they may have some success, but still Ukraine will win this war, my friends, for sure. Because both of those two ways will destroy Russia for sure. And that is why I think they will perform their usual goodwill gesture, moving their forces away from Isum, just not letting around 20,000 people or soldiers being encircled in this area. They're already trapped in this region. My friends, and we have the latest update. The situation changed. We have our forces already in Sankowa. It's our special forces that landed there somehow, and we took under control this supply line across the water storage. So it's been taken by Ukraine already, and still we need to build a defense line. And Sankowa is quite far away, I think, from the Ukrainian controlled territory, but also I may say that we don't have the proper update of this military map, because the information that we have on this update is deliberately slowed down, just not let our enemy know where our forces located. Let's move to the south, my friends. We have some sort of the small advancement of Ukrainian forces, but still it's the counterattack. Why is it so slow compared to the Kharkiv area? Because Russians were able to put lots of the forces and resources to this area. It's been officially confirmed that we took this place, Belgodativka village over here. The fighting is ongoing for Suhi Stavok, and the information is slowed down a little bit, so maybe we already took this part or even more. It's much more slower advancement in that region, because also the earth is very flat in this region, lots of fields and no woods. So it's very difficult to go on offensive than you are on a vast open area. As for the east, Russia struggles to get more ground under their control, obviously, because they're shocked of our counter-attack. And now let's go to some of the news and events. We have some of the footages coming from Kharkiv, filmed by our soldiers. So this Russian tank was demolished. Why is it Russian? Because we have Wagner sign on its barrel. You can definitely see it. So it's been separated, and all of the tankists found their rest in peace in their own tank, and the turret itself usually flown away and landed not far away from that tank base. More images of destroyed Russian vehicles in that region. You can see Russian BTRs were just demolished, and I'm very impressed of our counterattack, because then Russia started their offensive operation. Sometimes there was minor resistance from Ukrainian side, especially in the south. Here they resist, we fight them, we burn their vehicles, but still we go fast, and as fast as they done in the beginning of the war. Some of the Russians were running away on their BTRs and found themselves in this muddy lake or something. So obviously those will be taken by Ukrainian army, and some of the ammunition we have. So we just need to get them out of there, perform some of the maintenance, and here we go, we have BTRs for Ukrainian army. Oh, Russians built sauna there. They thought they will stay there for a long time, so they used the boxes from their ammunitions to build that quite cozy place. I would say it's the smart way actually to build a sauna on the front line, because you need to wash. That reduces the risks of diseases, because you need to take care about your hygiene, because you are in this muddy environment and you have parasites. Maybe here it's kind of cozy. Video from Balaklia itself, and locals greet Ukrainian soldiers. The city was liberated, all of the buildings I think okay. Russians just went out from that place. Some of the local villages, and this is elderly lady, she's very happy that Ukrainians came to free her, and yeah, it's touching to see that. And that is what I was talking about. Russia sends new reinforcements to that area. You can see long column, but I think it's too late for Russia to use their columns there, and for Ukraine it's the great chance to get rid of Russian reinforcements until they're moving there to the place. If they will deploy their forces there, obviously they can do some harm to Ukrainian side, and that is why it's very important to eliminate those in a deployment process. More columns of Russian BTRs. So they send those from the eastern part of Ukraine. And here I can see the vehicle from the previous video. So obviously it was filmed by RIA Novosti for propaganda purposes as well, showing that Russia is not losing ground. We still have mighty force to fight for our occupied land. So, but yeah, as I said to you, it's too late for them. This picture was taken this afternoon. Here we go with Kupiansk name. So our forces already at the city border, probably already in the city itself. Some of the media resources and Telegram groups claim that we were able to capture Russian General Andrei Sychev. He's actually General Colonel, the high-rank commander of the western part of the Russian army. And I think it's fake, my friends, because he just has here, and this is the general himself. Yeah, looks similar, but I'm in doubt that it's the one guy. However, the ear looks similar, very similar. Also, we have this dot over here and the dot over here. It's very hard to say, my friends, because I saw the photo that this general was bald. Very funny. This book was found on previously occupied Russian territory. You can see the ammunition box. And the name of the book is "Почему погибнет Америка?" Why America will die. Yeah, I think some of the stereotypes about Russia confirmed, and my friends, it's so cringy. Just yesterday, the State Secretary Blinken attended Kiev, and it's great that we have that huge support from United States and other allies. And the United States of America will give us the most precise shells in the world, artillery shells, Excalibur with GPS guidance. They are as precise as HIMARS rocket artillery system rockets, so obviously it's the great thing to have in Ukrainian army. And here we have the advancement of Ukrainian forces in just 3 days on this military map. So just try to walk 60 kilometers. I think it will take at least a couple of the days. Here we were able to get back our land with fighting for those days. It's awesome result. Russian vehicles in Kharkiv. This is a refueling track, and miraculously it didn't explode, even though it has some holes in its tank. And here are more cameras. And I expect the same picture to see in a few hours or days about that column that is going to help Russian occupiers in Kharkiv. So great job, Ukrainian army. Norway will give us 160 Hellfire rockets, very effective tool for our airplanes. And thank you, Norway, for your kind support. And we'll get more HARM rockets from United States. Not only them, we're gonna receive artillery systems, more shells, and many more other stuff from United States. So thank you again. Russians were running away so fast that they left behind their tanks. So this tank is perfectly fine, in great condition, and it's been trophied by Ukrainian army. So we have Ukrainian flag waving, but actually it's Russian. You have Zs there. So Russia left it. Run, Russians. Those are the Russian military telegram groups, and they say that we already destroyed the bridge in Kupiansk across the water storage, and they say that their forces there are trapped. They are speaking about this bridge across the river, I would say, over here. So if this bridge would be cut, Russia would not be able to throw their forces to support this part of the city, and this part is much greater than this one. And I think we're gonna take all of that stuff because we also need to take control over the big railway station in this region, because Russia may use it to supply their forces in Isum direction. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation here in Ukraine. Hope to receive many more awesome news for tomorrow. And please now don't forget to check out the link for the Atlas VPN, the best VPN out there. And I'm really happy that we have the sponsor of today's video. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.